Well, everybody's heard about the bird. The bird's a winner, well, a bird.
Grown men watch this shit?
A podcast about indie wrestling.
Bird is a winner, well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner, well, a bird. The bird's a winner, well, a bird. Well, a bird is a winner, well, a bird.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I don't know why this is an all ages intro, but we swear a lot if children are listening to this show.
Well, this edition we're not going to. That's the plan.
Oh, right. I hope that parents play this podcast on the commute into school. I hope that happens in some world. Anyway.
Crap, I just thought about it. We have to swear. There's a swear word in the title of our show.
There is! You're about to swear in the coming seconds, sir. You're going to make yourself a liar.
Let's proceed.
Welcome to...
Grown men watch this shit? God, I felt bad that time.
You did. I hope you were very guilt-ridden, sir. You've soiled some fucking eardrums of children's. Children's?
The children's.
Yeah, I'm also dropping F-bombs. So I don't know which is worse, my bad grammar that I'm teaching them or my F-words.
Who knows?
Oh, fun. We are here for a bit of an impromptu episode, I would say. We're here to do a last-minute rundown of some bits of news and stuff here and there that I've been meaning to get to, but also... This is going to be dropping the day that all of the crazy shit of WrestleMania weekend takes place.
You can listen to this as you fly in, or as you sit and ponder how fun it must be to be one of the people like us in New York City, enjoying yourselves.
Indeed. Yeah. So, spoiler alert, but we are recording this the weekend prior to this going on, and then through the magic of auto scheduling, this will just drop on that Thursday, and it'll be like I edited this show together whilst in New York. But I'm not going to do that, because why would I do that when I want to be seeing all of the things in New York? So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing. So if some sort of news comes out in the next week and all of the shows of WrestleMania weekend are cancelled, we will look like quite fools.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Like the biggest news ever. Why aren't these guys covering it at all?
So let's hope that doesn't happen.
left the WWE.
Well, that's maybe a thing, right? This is supposed to be maybe a last match.
Show.
No, we're probably not going to be talking much about that show, but we can if you want. I don't know. Is anything about that particularly tickling you, sir?
I'll tell you what about that show. It honestly. It'll probably be okay. It'll be fine. I was talking to you the other day about what I think will be probably the best match on the show, which is Randy and AJ, just because those guys are pretty, spot on, lights out. They can't miss pretty much.
I'm disagreeing with you on that right now.
Sure.
Putting it out there. I think that match is going to be disappointing because I hate Randy Orton with a passion, and I think it's going to be really boring.
Well, I like how I have the opportunity potentially. Well, I don't personally, but there is an opportunity for me to change your mind, sir. Let's help these guys pull it off. But yeah, the show is pretty much a one-match show.
Only reason I'm going is the Ronda main event. Even though they shoehorned Charlotte into it, and I'm not a big fan of these three ways that they decide just have to be all over Mania for no apparent reason, but. Nonetheless, I am unashamed big-time fan of Ronda Rousey, and if this is her swan song, I want to be there in person, especially for bloody Joan Jett playing her to the ring. I'm way too excited for that.
Man, hopefully there is a reasonably price scalped ticket that I can snag, man, because, it'd be pretty amazing to go.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can just get there like an hour after bell time, or after the actual main show started, and there's going to be some desperate ass scalpers at the front. Like, oh fuck, I've still got these $500 tickets. I'm unable to unload these. $50 to the next buyer, and then I'm right there.
How much are you willing to spend, friend?
I'd like it to be inside of $100.
Yeah, I think I could do with. I could probably do 100 because it's Mania, man. I can still watch it back on the fucking network later if I need to. But yeah,
Yeah.
being there is not what it's all about, buddy.
Last time I got in on like nosebleeds, and then I just snuck down as close as I could get to the ring, and I was like in really
You and
expensive
your
tickets for
fucking sneaking.
a good amount of time, and then someone came to their seat, and I pretended to look at my fucking ticket. It's like, oh, this is really embarrassing. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's language. I misunderstood the translation.
Yeah, us Australians.
Yeah, I know they're dumb Americans. They might not. Oh yeah, he's not from around here. It makes sense.
And then I moved back to
another
another seat that was still much better than my original seat. But there's always going to be some empty seats in that big a venue. But I have a rule: I will sneak into shows. I will sneak into seats I'm not meant to go. Only in your country, sir. I will not do so in Japan, because that is impolite, and politeness is a big deal in Japan, and I don't want to make any social faux pas that would embarrass myself as a clumsy gaijin breaking the rules in Japan. But
Understood.
I'm more than happy to do so in the United States of America.
Unabashed.
Yes.
Dude, actually, something that happened before we got on the show is our good friend John Kraft hit us up because he was hanging out with one wrestler, Marty the Moth, and they hit me up about giving him my phone number to have him hit me up about doing design. And recently, Marty the Moth had posted something on Twitter where he was trying to get a bunch of people to compete against each other in order to essentially design his shirt for free. And
might I ask you, what was the reward for said design? What do you get for winning this prestigious competition, sir?
A t-shirt with that design on it. So if you like your thing that you did so much, you can wear it and walk around and say, hey, I did this for free.
Yeah.
This design contest, to me, I like Marty the Moth, and I'm sure there's up-and-coming artists out there.
Nice guy from all counts and all interactions I've had with him, but that's a dog move.
Yeah, man, you're basically making these people work for free and compete against each other for free, and then compensating them with a shirt, which I know for a fact it does not cost very much to print from Pro Wrestling Tees. Man, pay artists. As an artist.
Hey, that being said, didn't Sammy Callahan do the same thing, but not actually get around to the sending the shirt part a little while back?
I think he actually gave it. Finally got it to her, and finally paid it. And it was after some miscommunication, I guess, over fucking. I guess she went silent on him and didn't message him for a while, and he didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, Reddit went people bloody crazy on that. Hey,
people claim to ghost each other when that kind of shit goes down. But anyway, somebody kept tagging me about it, so I had to say, man, pay artists, man, pay artists. Yeah, well, that's all.
I am interested in this topic of conversation because this flows on from our last episode. We were talking to Mr. Jedi Jack Yeti about the idea of fan art versus, art. And that's the exact same thing when we're talking about T-shirt designs, right? Because there's so many people out there that are like fan art illustrators, and then your indie workers hit them up, hey, can I put this on a shirt? Put it on a shirt, and then as a thank you, they'll send them out a shirt. And I guess that's all right? But then
that's the agreement, I guess.
Yeah, but then the line between when you're actually, trying to get that from like professional designers who are actually doing that. I mean, what is the line there? Like between a fan art indie merch maker and indie merch designer. Is it just the money? I guess.
If your plan is to give them at least a shirt, I say give them the $20 you would charge a customer for the shirt. Don't give them the shirt, because really the shirt isn't even costing the wrestler $20 in reality. So that's a work right there in itself. But recently, my buddy,
the prestige of seeing your shirt, your art on a shirt. Some people think
honestly, I did that at first, but I realized that you can only get so many free fucking T-shirts, man. Before you're gonna be like, geez, how many designs of my own shit do I need? I'm just a mark for myself at this point.
I like the idea that like half of your wardrobe is just like your own design shirts.
No, I made sure not to do that. I own a couple, but like the Steiner shirt and that kind of jazz. Yes. But then, like, this guy I know, Basil, he does a lot of photography in the Midwest area. Basil Muhammad does really good work. He's had wrestlers even take pictures that he's done of them and sell 8x10s of these photos and not compensate him at all. And it's either A, they don't realize they're fucking ripping this kid off, or B, or B, they just don't give a fuck. So either way, that's not cool. You're taking someone's art and making money off it. If you're making money off of somebody else's work, that person deserves to be paid.
Well, in my mind, in my carny wrestler brain, carny worker wrestler brain, I am telling that dude, hey, you took a photo of me, my likeness. I did not, sign this off and sign away my likeness
Basil
for you to be able to sell this photo. So I'm doing you a favor by taking this photo, my likeness, and selling it on some 8x10s,
Fucking favor. Yeah, man. That's so. I'm just a lot of artists and hard work, man. Hard work should get some dividends.
But we do it for exposure. We do this for exposure.
I guess that's why I need all those T-shirts, because I'm getting exposure. I'm gonna be fucking die from exposure. Cover myself up with all these free fucking T-shirts.
Great rant.
Yeah. All right, sorry.
Well done.
Coming down the aisle.
So, next topic.
Yes.
I had a couple of things meaning to talk about on our last episode, but the interview itself went a little bit long, and then I didn't want to talk, news stuff and stretch this motherfucker out to be like a 3-hour podcast. No one needs that. By the way, if anyone made it all the way through last week's last episode, fucking good job. Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate
and
that
honestly,
commitment.
It was pretty heady at first when you dive in initially, but once you get in there, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I wanted to definitely give props to Jack Yeti, because I really enjoyed, despite it being a bit longer than I originally may have intended, I thought it was a really interesting chat, and I had a lot of fun, and yeah, lots of love for that guy. Anyone doing something a little bit different when it comes to the wrestling art stuff, fucking great stuff. So, if you are halfway through that episode, keep going. Hammer it on out. What's that saying I'm trying to think of here? Stick with it. I don't know. I'm going to bail on this. Anyway, so we were looking to cover a couple of topics.
Go balls deep on that podcast. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Just go balls deep, balls to the wall. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
balls to the wall.
Great song.
All right,
great song. Regardless, there's a couple of news topics I really was interested in your perspective on, sir, and I wanted to chat it out a little bit.
Sure.
So on the surface, this may be old news, but I like to think better late than never. In the same
if you don't
way,
know, it's new to you.
Yeah, in the same way that I wished my friend Matt, previous guest of the show, Slade Mercer, I wished him a happy birthday on Facebook a good 6.5 days after his actual birthday, because I just didn't get around to it on the day, and I said...
And you kept on praising one wrestler when you actually were praising a different wrestler.
Yeah.
So you get crazy on this podcast, Chris.
Yeah, I do. So yeah, happy birthday, Slade Mercer, from 7 days ago now, who just happens to be...
Wait, by the time this hits, it's even further than that.
Yeah, it's like a week and a half later. Shit. Anyway, who actually happens to have his second tour of All Japan Pro Wrestling coming up next week, which when this drops will be tomorrow, Friday. So I'm so excited for him on that, and I can't wait for some stories coming out of it. Maybe we can even have him back on the show for a little bit of a talk of Japan when he's back. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
See what happens.
I like it.
But anyway, on to the old news. Hopefully this can be a segment. We can just make this a recurring segment where we talk about old and outdated news.
Because of our schedule, that could actually be a good gimmick. Old news.
So, first one, the Young Bucks at AAA thing, right? So did you hear about this? They came in. I was watching the show live, the last big show that they had for AAA. I think it was Guerre des Titans. I don't know, something. Doesn't matter. But it was their last big show, and they had a card where they didn't really announce the main event to the last minute because people were like, oh, I think the Young Bucks and Cody or something are going to do something on this show, right? Ended up having the Lucha Brothers in like what was sort of announced to on the night to be the main event, working Tejano Jr. and Rey Scorpion, who are like fantastic dudes, like just awesome main event. Just like the best kind of Rudos, like so good. They're probably like the best workers going in AAA right now. Best like Rudo workers for sure, probably up there with like Elia del Fantasma. But so then this match came around and it went fucking 7 minutes, right? So everyone in the building is like, what the fuck? This main event is like 7 minutes. And it was like such a weird letdown thing. And then it's 7 minutes, and then the lights go out, and then, oh, here come the Young Bucks. They appear in the ring. Lights come back on, and it's done in a way where it's like, oh, this is such a big surprise. This is such a big, crazy thing. What a momentous occasion. The Young Bucks of All Elite Wrestling are here in AAA. Crowd could not give a fuck. Like, it was silence. Like, and I, like that, there are people that, you know, probably got a little bit fucking erect for that statement. There's a lot of Young Bucks haters out there. I'm not one of them. But to me, it definitely was a case of, like, not getting your audience. Because, like, the AAA TV audience is, like, almost like a casual wrestling audience. They just watch AAA, and they don't really watch any other wrestling. And like, especially, like, American indie wrestling kind of stuff, they'd have no idea about that in Mexico. Like, my brother's girlfriend, Taffness, she doesn't really know much about wrestling or really that much about Lucha Libre, but she knows AAA from growing up and stuff. So we don't talk about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so to expect the casual AAA audience to know who the Bucks are and for this to be a big surprise, it's like, that's a unrealistic expectation to start with. And then they go on to have the Young Bucks versus Pentagon Phoenix, the Lucha Bros, in another, like, little 7-minute match or whatever, and then they win the titles. And
yay!
Again, to silence. And it's...
oh, sorry.
Yeah, like, and they were hitting the Melter Driver. Like, I'd never seen the Melter Driver in my life, right? To just fucking crickets. Most said roaches.
Like everyone's in there. Oh, he did a flip. That's cool.
Yeah, but to me, as like an proper Lucha Libre fan, I was offended by that because that involves a tombstone pile driver, which is known as a martinete in Mexican wrestling, which is banned. It's one of the worst, most feared maneuvers you can do. It's banned by the Lucha Libre Commission, and if you do it, you get disqualified on the spot because you're risking ending a man's career. Yeah, but then the referee watched it and nothing. It made no sense. It's like, oh, these
wait
guys.
A minute, this wasn't after the match. That's for the.
This was in the match. Right. So it's just like fucking what? And
that made awesome.
Made no sense.
They throw it out. Nope, sorry.
It's like they can do it because it's a flipping version, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was just weird. It was like disappointing because like both matches were like short and whatever. But to me, the biggest, the guys that really got fucked in all of this schmozzle of a situation was Tejano Jr. and Rey Scorpion. Like these guys going out there in the main event, doing a job in like 7 minutes. They were like one of your headline teams, and then now they're like an afterthought, so that the program can be Lucha Bros, who aren't even like full-time, rostered talent in AAA, apparently. And the Young Bucks, who are just like, these American dudes. It's like weird. It was so weird. I mean, what was your kind of take on this? There's a lot of people, like I said, that got like almost too happy about this because they just fucking can't stand the Young Bucks. And then there was the defenders on this other side of the thing who are like, oh well, those Mexican fans are just idiots. They didn't know what they were getting. So unappreciative.
Excellent defenders. Those are the people. Those are the corner of the people. Fucking morons. Dude. Well, like you said, the fucking people who watch this show like the story that they're watching week to week. If somebody all of a sudden jumps in the main event that they have never seen, they're not going to respond. It's not like they know to be shocked. They don't, like, who are these new guys? Who to them? I think the majority of the audience, anyway, it was like, well, these are just brand new people. I have no idea why this is important. Then the fan, I'm sure they're fan favorites, Pentagon and Phoenix. So these guys fucking lose. They're not going to be fucking joyous about the Young Bucks winning. The Young Bucks World Tour is pretty awesome in my opinion, but I guess maybe does the shine come off the penny, so to speak?
I think so, because up till now it was almost like wherever they appeared, it was like so exciting. It's like, where are the Young Bucks going to be?
Because it's Mexico.
Maybe, but it's funny, if they had done this at the Crash in Tijuana, they would have got a huge pop. Because they're like, really over there, because it's more of like an Americanized audience, I guess, being like the border town and everything. But being like I think it was in like Puebla, which is not far from Mexico City. Like that's, proper Mexico. So it's a bit different, I guess. They've never really done much stuff there, at least not on a big scale basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting stuff. And now it's like the All Elite show, the Double or Nothing. I think it's like for the AAA tag titles.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's just like weird. It's weird.
The Young Bucks collecting titles, collecting gold, baby, running the globe.
Indeed. So yeah, that happened. So I wonder, is the bloom
old
off the
news.
rose? Is the
Old news.
old news? In more old news, I was delighted. Right, I know you're not the world's biggest Ultimate Warrior fan, but so there was this award.
Well, let's put it in perspective. I liked the character Ultimate Warrior. I think that is awesome. I don't care for Jim Hellwig. Actually, he was the warrior technically, but whatever. Yeah, the character is fucking amazing. It's the rocket ships with all the bullshit he says. Like, I don't even know. It's fucking insanity.
Amazing. You watch those promos, like peak warrior promos from like the late 80s, early 90s. It's like that to me, nothing can top that. It's like that and Macho Man, like just nonsensical, off the wall, just craziness. It's like that is the best WWF ever got. Oh yeah.
It's fucking amazing, man.
100%. And again, I'm also like one of the most forgiving people in the history of the world. So to me, you can do the worst thing ever, but people make mistakes. People can learn from them. I don't know. Anyway,
one second. Before we move on, speaking of these promos, if you go online, I'm not sure how to search them, but there are versions of all the great 80s promos or early 90s promos with the wrestlers when they're screaming and breathing really heavy, where they've edited out all the words and it's just them breathing heavy. So
that's amazing.
So that's all it is.
Holy
the whole time.
shit.
It's fucking great, dude.
I need to show this to Courtney because I watched some of like the mid 80s like shoot style wrestling stuff, and there's like no commentary, and it's just really turned up mics, so all you can really hear is like the noises of the mat and like just the grunting of the wrestlers. And Courtney will be sleeping downstairs, and all she can hear upstairs is like and she says how just completely unsettling it is, and it's her least favorite thing in the world. So I feel like on that basis she's really going to enjoy this video.
Yeah, I'm not watching gay porn, honey. That's what
No, I think she's said before, I'd way prefer if I just came upstairs and you were watching gay porn.
Amazing.
Yeah, but so the Warrior thing, the Warrior Award. So when he went into the Hall of Fame, he had this part of his speech, which I thought was really, really great, about him wanting.
Was good.
Yeah, it was an amazing speech. Again, the next night's one as well, but a poignant part of this was when he spoke about the idea of a Warrior Award, and his idea was he wanted this to be like an award for like the unsung behind the scenes heroes of the WWF. He mentioned Jimmy Miranda, for example.
Mark Eaton.
Yeah, like Jimmy Miranda was, I think, one of the main dudes from like the merchandise department for like over 20 years there, and just really great guy. And he said he wanted it to be the actual Jimmy Miranda award rather than the Warrior Award. So then they take this, he dies, and then it becomes just this bullshit like company media publicity fucking wank fest. I mean, they're like putting over like it's weird though. You can't complain about too much because they're putting over like cancer survivors and shit.
No, exactly.
But you can
Same
tell,
like Dana Warrior, but like she's just doing positive stuff.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like positive stuff just for the vacuous bullshit, company sheen, so they can pretend that they're good people. It's in no way like actually. I don't know. That's a rant for another time.
Good on you, WD. Good on you.
but this year, I was really, really happy where after it's been turned into this convoluted bullshit thing that in no way did Warrior intend it to be that, they announced the winner as Sue Atchison, who's been like the director of community relations at WWE for over 30 years, really a pioneer for their Make-A-Wish program, which as much as I bury that company, like that Make-A-Wish program is awesome. And there's a lot of guys that have done a lot of really, really good stuff through it. And yeah, like she is the type of person that should be getting this award. And it's like, I'm really happy that it's sort of gotten back to what that original vision was meant to be. I mean, next year will probably be back to, Stephanie's fucking ego stroking bullshit, but at least for this year, I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
So props WWE. Won't catch me saying that
Mark
very
Eaton
often.
didn't get no love. Mark got fired.
Yeah, he was the what did he do there? He was there forever.
Timekeeper
right?
forever, and he was the guy that threw Stone Cold his beers.
Oh yeah, the greatest beer thrower of all time.
Yep, Mark fucking Eaton. I went to a SmackDown, and after the show, I ran down to go actually talk to Mark Eaton. But fucking Justin Roberts was standing there. Yeah, I think it was Justin Roberts. I'm like, hey, can you get Mark Eaton for me? And Justin Roberts seemed irritated that I didn't want to talk to him. And then Mark Eaton comes over, and I go, hey, Mark, can we get a picture? He goes, you want a picture with me? I'm like, hell yeah, you're fucking Mark Eaton. So yeah, one of my favorite wrestling pictures is me and Mark Eaton.
Did you bring a Steve Weiser for the photo?
Oh, if I only had thought ahead. I didn't know I was going to be meeting the legendary Mark Eaton. Fucking A, bro.
That's awesome. Another one, like Charles Robinson is another one of those
he
guys.
Was there
Obviously,
too. Oh, no, that's who it was, actually. Charles was the one I had to ask. Charles thought I wanted to talk to him, and I asked Charles.
You personally insulted Lil Nate, sir?
I have met Nate before, Lil Nate before, but I've never met Eaton.
Nice. Yeah, so many of
actually, I thought about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I have probably seen Charles Robinson in the ring more than any other performer. And that includes wrestlers, you know what I mean? Like,
that's great.
Just because I watched so much WCW and so many, he's refed so many WWF matches, like, it has to be I've seen him the most in the ring.
Beautiful head of hair, by the way.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that music video where it was like, I can't remember the band, but it was the most bizarre thing I ever found on YouTube, where it's basically this, like, fan who has like some sort of folk music band, and she just does a song about her unconditional love for Lil Nate, Charles Robinson.
I have not seen this. Holy shit, I am missing out.
Yep, I'm gonna make sure we post it on the Twitter at Grown Men Pod. So everyone make sure you check out that. It is amazing, so good. All right, so next topic of old news.
Yes, oh no.
Bullet Bob Armstrong retiring, having his final match at like is he like mid-70s? Got to be mid-70s, I'd say.
I believe so.
Only to come back from retirement promptly, like less than a week later, under his masked gimmick of the Bullet.
The Bullet.
In Chipley, Florida.
That's amazing. I always love that shit. like Mr. America when Hogan was like wearing a mask. Like, oh yeah, no one's falling for this shit. It's amazing regardless.
All of that stuff was like, I think Bullet Bob kind of like started it. Most of it was kind of like gone from him, because I thought I remember Dusty's one. Dusty was it Stagger Lee?
No, that's fucking JYD.
Yeah. So it's like a long time.
Dusty was Midnight Rider.
Yeah, Midnight Rider. Oh, one of the greatest theme musics in the history of wrestling. Willie Nelson.
Dude, it's such a classic gimmick that I listened to a radio show where one of the producers on the show gimmickily got fired from the show, but came back like the next day as the Midnight Rider and he like produced the radio show. It was fucking awesome.
I love that.
He was doing a really bad Dusty impression the entire time. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, people need to check out Bullet Bob and his work as the Bullet in a lot of the Smoky Mountain Wrestling that's been uploaded to the network a little while back. His promos, like, and this is him, like, he's got to be mid-50s by this point, and his promos will blow away anything you see in current day wrestling, and even like wrestling then at the time when there was all the great promos there were. He carried that shit, and like when they did big houses, Jim Cornette would always say it was like thanks to Bullet Bob's promos.
Bobby.
Yeah,
Bullet
great
Bob.
shit, so good. All right, now a final
old news.
Old news is this isn't as old news, but by the time this comes, up on when the podcast is released, yeah. Mustafa Ali losing his first name, becoming just Ali, which is shit on multiple levels to me, right? So first off, just because Mustafa Ali is a really sweet name, and just Ali on its own is not.
It also kills my pun I did the other day, Mustafa Aliyah, because now it's not even funny anymore.
Yeah.
It's just fucking bastards.
They just did it to fuck with you, so.
Oh, you thought so too?
Yeah. They saw that and then boom.
Fuckers.
Fuck this Jaims Vanderbeek.
I gotta stop making jokes, man. I'm killing people's careers.
So he, I mean, it's both that surface level thing, but then also there was this really great segment that I watched that came out a little while back on, it was, I can't remember the actual name of it, it was like a thing to do with Middle Eastern heritage and that side of things, and he had a segment on this show basically saying about how proud he is of his heritage and how he didn't want to be one of those, all of the Arab gimmicks that he saw when he was growing up on WWF TV, from the Iron Sheik to, like, even the friggin' Muhammad Hassan, like, and that wasn't even that long ago. Like, he didn't want to be that, and he said it, and using the name Mustafa, which has for a long time just in pop culture, really. I mean, think back to, like, it was Mustafa from Lion King, was it? Or was it
Mufasa?
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it basically is like how many good guys are there they're called Mustafa? So it's like that name was like a really important part of him.
He's like, it's just me and the dude from the Lion King. Mufasa Ali Jr.
Yeah. But like that was funny because that dropped like a week prior, and then it's like,
that's so bullshit.
We're changing this name. I mean, how did that actually happen too? It's just like going through the names in like a Rolodex or a Rolodex on his desk. It's like, how did this get over the line? This sucks.
Yeah.
But Mustafa, Mufasa, I don't even know how to say this. Let's just clean
People
it
are
up.
gonna think he's a fucking terrorist. People are afraid of Mustafas.
It sucks so much though, like his Google ability now. What the fuck are people gonna get when they Google search Ali? I'm pretty sure it's not him.
WWE Ali. Yeah.
Also, like, people are gonna, like, casual fans are gonna see him. Oh, this guy's Ali? It doesn't look like Ali to me. It's fucking weird. It just makes it like a Muhammad Ali thing. I don't know. Bizarre.
Maybe they're trying to get ahead of when this live action Aladdin gets released. They're gonna say, yeah, he's like our Aladdin. He's Ali. Ali Baba.
To be fair, and I do not actually I'm really worried this is going to come off as racist now.
Oh shit!
I was going to say,
brace yourselves. The guy from Australia is going to be racist.
Yeah. He's like
That's good,
quite
buddy.
a
Go for it.
visual, facial similarity to
To Aladdin?
Aladdin. Yeah, I could see
To
that.
the cartoon version, for sure. I can see that. It's not necessarily racist.
Good. It's not all Middle Eastern people look the same.
No, because
Definitely.
it's like an Americanized drawn version. Yeah. This is a gray area. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
Yeah. I mean, as a
But
more
honestly, there's no reason to change his name. It's not like
dumb.
the marketing is more viable with the name Ali. It's simple, it's generic, and it makes literally no sense. And he even like complained afterwards. Well, not necessarily complained, but he mentioned that why he chose that first name more like even what the meaning of it is like. I guess he's moving on from that. He just wanted everyone to know that's why that was part of his name.
Mm. Yeah, it was like he almost phrased it because I remember that tweet. He almost phrased it almost like, "Oh, it's fine," like sort of apologizing for it.
But yeah, I could tell he was bummed.
Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, there's a hard hitting question here. Do you think this is a case of WWE whitewashing?
I could definitely see that. I normally try not get too opinionated about that kind of shit when it comes to wrestling, but that's all I can see here. It literally is a very ethnic name. It's one of the things that's most important about his character. Clearly, with his words, he stated that. So, I honestly I can't think of a good reason why otherwise than just to kind of make it less ethnic.
He can be Middle Eastern, but not that Middle Eastern.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. Who named this fucker?
If nothing else, go out of your way to check out that little appearance that I mentioned on... That's probably going to be a bit hard when I didn't know the name of the TV segment. Oh, well. Yeah. People have the ability to Google it.
Let me ask you one other thing. Name one wrestler in the WWE that, I'm not talking about a repackage where they completely changed the name, where they simply shortened the name from a two-name name to a single one, where the person all of a sudden skyrocketed and were incredibly over. It hasn't happened.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
not a surefire way to get anybody over.
Let's make sure that we trim this name back. Just go single name, and then they're just gonna go straight to the stars immediately.
See, he even now has his gimmick name Ali plus his real name on there. So I don't think that's how it was before. I think he's even more like saying, "Yeah, I'm Ali now, but this is my real name, which is also ethnic. It's Adil Alam." And fucking A, man, like.
Sure, that name's going to be mentioned on WWE TV from now on.
Oh. Do you think that the whole gimmick where all these guys are fucking putting their shoot names on their Twitter handle is cool or no?
It makes sense to protect your brand to a point. So, once you depart the company, people are still going to, in theory, know who you are once you change names, I guess? You think that's maybe the thinking behind it?
I don't know. Who is so dumb to like, wait a minute, that looks like Mustafa Ali, but I'm pretty sure he's going by this name. That can't be the same guy. Also, I found that tweet he said. Mustafa says, Mustafa means the chosen one, with emphasis on being chosen from amongst the people. And then he said, name or not, nothing has changed. I fight for the people. I am one of them. So at least he found a good way to like translate the change into a fucking awesome like character defining tweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd still think like for the guys to be apologizing for this dumb bullshit from management, it's like it's a shitty look. Like it's I accept, but at the same time, if he came out and was like, fucking take my name, pieces of shit, he would get in trouble, I'm assuming. So
Rusev comes out, no, I'm Alexander Rusev, damn it.
That's another one. Alexander Rusev sounds so much better than
it's
just
badass.
Yeah.
I can get with Antonio Cesaro. Now, like after enough time, I like Cesaro by itself better, but Alexander Rusev, it sounds very, very cool.
Also, neither of those are as good as Claudio Castagnoli.
Oh man, the best.
Better. And I have checked that segment that I was talking about, Secret Life of Muslims. Great segment. Google that, check out Mustafa Ali's appearance on it, and then you'll be
It
like,
sounds like something that people who don't like Muslims would watch and try to show their friends from the name of it. Like, look, this is a secret life of Muslims. Look at them. Look at them.
do you know how many times in a day they read the Quran? Ah,
It's ridiculous. Who has time for that much reading? Not me.
that much praying? Who has that much time for contemplation in their life?
And who has a compass to know which way to face all the time? Not me.
Right.
Oh, Lord. Pretty soon our show's just going to be you talking to me doing stupid characters.
This is the evolution. All right, so that is the end of Old News.
Oh, news.
I enjoyed that. Had fun.
Good times.
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right, now we get on to timely discussion for this insane week of shows that we have coming up. I'm sure a lot of other people have coming up, and other people who are not going will be going insane trying to watch it all on their TV screens. I know that I did that a few years when I didn't actually go, and it's just a heck of a lot of wrestling to try to watch whether you're there or not.
And my buddy recently, he hit me up. He's not going, but he's like, man, I need to know which shows to watch. It's ridiculous. The number of cards and the number of awesome matches that are on different cards. So where can we go for all this sorts of information? And actually, believe it or not, Voices of Wrestling was nice enough to compile every card on all. Well, I can't say every. I'll take that back. The majority of the cards for each day listed on their site, and incredible work. It must have been a lot of time, unless they're just copy and pasting. I don't know, but yeah, great work by these guys. So if you want to check it out,
even if they did nothing other than go to all of the places and copy and paste, fucking
yeah,
bravo!
that's ridiculous. Yeah, hands off. Anyway, so if you want to check it out, it's voicesofwrestling.com, WrestleMania-Weekend-2019-schedule-map. And those dashes are not the word dash, it's actually a dash.
Or, you could Google it. I'm sure.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Good call.
I like the idea that someone's... Wait.
Oh,
Dash?
actually, it's the address is https :
Now, does it have the www there, or is it one of these trendy ones with no www?
Oh, we got the triple dub, dude. Classic.
Woo!
Classic triple.
Classy.
Alrighty.
Nice. But yeah, this is an insane week of shows. We've known it's coming up for a while, and there's been a lot of times where I'm like, well, this is a dumb amount of wrestling that we're going to. But, when you...
And I remember for a fact last year when we left, we swore we were going to do it again.
Oh man, I was in rough shape. I've said before, I was like sick for like a better part of a week once I got to Chicago following that.
My leg was fucked.
Yeah. We were in bad shape. I wonder what adventures we're going to have this year. What
Yes,
appendages are we going to break? How sick are we going to get? How many benders
Will the
are we going to do?
cocaine be real?
I do not know whether New York has better or worse cocaine than New Orleans.
We'll find out. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my.
So the week is packed. I just wanted to touch base on a show we're not going to, but one of the very first shows of the week, and possibly the first. I think it's Pizza Party Wrestling.
Yeah.
At 7 p.m. at Phil Sheridan Building in Jersey, Ridgefield, Jersey. I'm pretty excited because a friend of mine and a match that I've actually been kind of dying for a long time is actually happening. It's my buddy Daniel McCabe versus one Fred Yehai. Holy crap, dude!
That sounds like
That
it'll
is
be a
gonna be
technical
insane.
exhibition.
Yeah, I believe they're going to be. You'll be able to see this at a later date if you're not in attendance. So that's one good thing. But
Now, how does the pizza party side of this work? Do you get free pizza with your price of admission? Will there be a pizza man going around taking orders? This sounds
I think
important.
it's like a pizza-themed company because there is a character on the show by the name of Pizza Cat. So I think it's more of a theme.
So you're telling me you go to this show and you
bar.
don't get to eat a single slice of pizza, perhaps?
I can't say that, buddy.
All right.
I'm just saying I'm not guaranteeing pizza for anybody. That's all.
All right. If anyone's interested here, No, this show will already be done by the time you hear this podcast. So go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is over.
You may or may not have pizza. Who knows?
If you did go and if you did get pizza, please tweet us immediately. I really want to know.
It'd be awesome. And then also, your statesman or countryman Robbie Eagles is facing off a local favorite, also Alex Zane. So, cross-continental matchup.
Robbie is getting a lot of matches through this chat that we're going to have about these upcoming shows. We're going to hear Robbie's name quite a bit, and I'm really happy for him because, as we've said before, one of the real standouts of the Aussie scene. And obviously doing all sorts of rad stuff in New Japan too, and just tops bloke. Quite happy for him.
And actually, you know what? Now that I'm reading this Voices of Wrestling, they actually reference the people who compiled this big list. So I do want to give these people shout outs. They got their Twitter handles here. It's at Underwally, at the Underwally, and at I'm not going to try to pronounce this. It's at TAMAIMBO, Taylor Mainbjorg. But yeah, they're the ones who compiled this huge list. That's really helping me increase out. Man Bimbo. What the hell? Now we're burying the dude's name after we're trying to put him over.
Thank you, Taylor Mambimbo. We appreciate it.
And then also our favorite, Tony Deppen, is facing one T-Flex on this show. Ooh. I'm not familiar with T-Flex, but Deppen is dope. And if you follow him on Twitter, he's actually a really funny and insightful dude as well.
Yeah, he is. I'm hoping T-Flex has like a Bowflex gimmick. Do you remember those back in the day?
Hell yeah.
He could come out with it. He's doing his, I don't know.
But you can't come out with a Bowflex.
Yeah, that's quite big.
No, actually, that might make it better. It's like on a fucking dolly. T-Flex comes out with this fucking Bowflex. They roll it out. He's got 2 assistants. He does a couple reps before he gets in the ring. Fucking T-Flex, bitch.
Yep, T-Flexing. Awesome.
All right.
What's next?
Well, there's a bunch of awesome, like, we got Battle Club Pro, which is packed. Let's go to the first show that we're going to. I'm scrolling.
So there, I was almost going to go to the Evolve show, which is Thursday midday, I think. But I used to be a big time fan of Evolve. Ranging from when they were like the sister promotion to Dragon Gate USA. And we've got all those awesome matches with like Danielson and John Moxley and Jimmy Jacobs, like that Jimmy Jacobs John Moxley feud. Great shit. And they even had like Minonori Sawa, Kudo Hidaka. I remember like Low-Key came in there for a while, and then we had like the awesome variation where there was all these amazing matches with like Drew Galloway and Roderick Strong and Chris Hero and Timothy Thatcher, Drew Gulak. Like, it was awesome shit. Now, Matt Riddle as well, of course. Since Matt Riddle's departure, I don't know if I'm just being ignorant, but there is nothing about that roster right now that really gets me going. Are you kind of looking at the card right now?
Well, the first show actually that I didn't even realize this was the main event. The first Evolve show is at midnight on, it looks like Wednesday night. Or I apologize, noon it looks?
Yeah, noon is what I was thinking.
Yeah, noon, sorry. And the main event is Austin Theory and Kyle fucking O'Reilly. I didn't know that shit.
I'm not a big Austin Theory guy. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't watched enough. What do you think?
Initially, I was not huge on him because I didn't think he had a hell of a lot of personality, but he definitely a lot more.
Struck me as like a body guy.
Yeah, definitely. But he's super athletic, dude, and fucking has loads of charisma now. It's one of those things like when you're fucking first, they're not necessarily pushing you. They don't know how to portray themselves, and now he's like the champion. He's fucking dirty, cocky heel. I appreciate it. Actually,
all right. Well, how about you try to convince me to go to this show based off this card? Come on, what do we got? What do we got to add another fucking show to our plate of a smorgasbord of wrestling here?
Well, I won't be here for this one, unfortunately. Isn't this Wednesday?
No, I thought it was Thursday.
Oh no, that's fucking damn it. Yeah, you're right, sir. So, do you want to get up that we have?
That's what I'm saying. It has to be a really good show for me to add another one to the plate.
Honestly,
so is it good enough to do that?
I don't believe so because there's lots of great stuff on here. There's lots of great guys on here, but I mean, we got Montez Ford from WWE versus Shane Strickland.
I don't know who Montez Ford is.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Eddie Kingston as well, so that could be good.
And they're taking on, and I'm gonna probably brutalize this, Konosuke and Takashita.
Takashita, yeah, from DDT.
Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with, so that's not selling me. And then
I
Colby
believe
Corino
I saw Konosuke Takashita have a real good match on one of the DDT shows that I went to in Shinjuku Face. So
yeah, it's just hard for me to sell you on this show with him because I don't know his fucking work.
It's all right.
And there's Darby Allin always puts on a great match. He's facing Anthony Henry, who I'm not really familiar with. I think he's from the Workhorsemen. Isn't he that guy?
I do like the Workhorsemen very much. They're great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll be a fine show, but I just don't see anything that's can't miss. You know what I mean, buddy?
Yeah, I see that. All right, what's next?
Up next,
next there's the 4 p.m. slot on the Thursday. There are like so many clashing shows. The clashes are really the most tricky part of this whole thing, the conundrum of it's like at a festival, you know, like there's this band on at this stage, this band on at this stage. Which one are you going to watch? Why do they have to clash? I don't know. I was really torn initially because I heard the WXW show was on at the same time as the Bloodsport show. And initially I was like, oh, WXW, you know, that's pretty much Walter's promotion at this stage. Even though, you know, Walter and Ilya Dragunov each, you know, signed up to the WWE. I'm sure they'll still let them work the shows. So maybe there could even be a Walter versus Ilya Dragunov rematch or something. And so I was quite torn. But then it sort of shook out? Sure. Neither are on the card at all.
I thought you guys said sorted. I thought you guys used the word sorted. Sorted out?
It's sorted out? Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And then also, motherfucker, at 3 that same time, an hour before those two shows, you got fucking Fight Club Pro and Destiny.
Oh,
and they've got
I was interested in that.
Too.
Yeah, Fight Club Pro.
Fucking Amazing Red and fucking Puma King on the same team. That's going to be fun versus CCK and Kyle Fletcher. Fucking A.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that show as well. Probably more so than the WXW one actually now. But anyway, there's no way that I am possibly going to miss Bloodsport because that was probably one of my favorite shows from last year. Like definitely one of the freshest feeling shows. It was really exciting, really different. And I thought overall it was awesome. I also got to see my life hero, Dan Seven, wrestle a match, which I'll be getting to see him wrestle a match again at this year's Bloodsport.
So annoyed.
Enthused. What else we got on that card, friend?
Fucking Bloodsport is awesome, dude. We got Hideki Suzuki versus fucking Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, that is like a dream match for me. It's like being a fan of shoot style wrestling, dude. Like, I'm just so jacked for that one.
This one is ridiculous. I'm a big fan of Killer Cross. He actually was on me and Farmer's old show on MLW, but he's taking on Davey Boy Smith Jr.
That should be
fucking awesome.
That'll be a great showcase for Davey, who doesn't get to show like how much of a awesome actual wrestler he is and a lot of his New Japan stuff. So I'm pumped for that one, dude.
And then also, of course, as you aforementioned, Mr. Severin taking on one Frank Mir. UFC guys taking up fucking shoot style
UFC heavyweight champions going head to head at the fucking White Eagle Hall in New Jersey.
If you can somehow find a ticket for this for me, Chris, let me know.
Oh, please. If anyone, it's probably going to be a bit tight. Yeah, when this episode drops, the show's going to be starting in like 30 minutes.
Thursday morning I'll be looking, or Wednesday night I'll be looking. But yeah, continuing on, dude. Simon Gotch and J.R. Kratos. Kratos, I have not seen a ton of his work, but he clearly looks like a badass.
Really solid guy from California. I think I've seen him before in APW. Real solid dude.
Gotch is underestimated as far as his actual wrestling ability, I think.
Yeah,
because
I saw him on a recent show for Beyond Wrestling. He's shaved off the moustache. There's no more moustache. He just has like this sort of underneath bit of the beard almost like a angry Amish roadkill kind of a vibe. Maybe that should be his new gimmick. Roadkill Junior.
New roadkill chickens.
But yeah, he was awesome. He got to show, like, again, another guy who can actually go and doesn't get to show it all the time. I've been a big fan of his in his MLW run with Filthy Tom before their breakup. I thought that was great. So yeah.
And may I quote him by saying Enzo is an abortion?
No. Not a fan of Enzo Amore, apparently, Mr. Simon Gotch.
No, not at all. He actually, before that shoot came out, he like sent it to me like, dude, before you take anything out of context, go ahead and watch it. And so I'm watching. I'm like, okay, there's no need to take this out of context. You're pretty straightforward out your feelings. So then we got, is it Masashi Tadeka?
Takeda. Musashi Takeda. He is awesome, probably one of the best deathmatch guys going in the world today.
Taking on the best grappler in the world, in my opinion, fucking Jonathan Gresham.
Right, I'm so stoked for that because, like, in Big Japan, which is Takeda's like home promotion, they split between the deathmatch and then like the more strong style kind of wrestling. They call it the strong division, which I think is great. And he is just an awesome straight up wrestler when he's not doing deathmatch stuff. Slade actually mentioned to me he was on like an All Japan show with him on his last tour, and he said, dude, I thought this guy, I just looked at him in the back, like he's just covered in scars, deathmatch back, like from the light tubes and everything. He's like, I thought this guy was just some like deathmatch crumb bum, and then like he just went out there and he was fucking incredible, like just one of the best actual workers. So I'm again really excited to see that side of Takeda against Gresham, who I'm a huge fan of, Jonathan Gresham.
And then this one is fucking pretty interesting. Andy Williams, forget the fucking name of his band, but he's fucking in his foray into wrestling and decided that he's going to go into Bloodsport, and he's taking on Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson.
I'm not too familiar with Andy Williams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was in a band.
Like a famous band? Semi-famous
band?
band?
A famous band. Let me pull it up here. It's like a hardcore, I think, a straight edge band, and it's not fucking classic American singer Andy Williams, old fucking guy.
Damn it, that's what I was hoping for.
Whatever.
You can do the sweet country music for his entrance.
Every Time I Die.
All right, isn't that the same band that Brody King was from?
No, he's from God's Hate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think they're both hardcore, like fucking straight edge bands. But
Every
Andy
Time
Williams
I Die is like a pretty big a deal in that world, right? I think they did stuff on when Progress did like the Download Festival or something in the UK. I'm pretty sure Andy Williams actually did like a little. He mixed it up with some of the heels and gave them some body slams or something.
Yeah, motherfucker's wrestling now, bro.
Sweet.
He's just a rocker, dude. He's living the dream, brother.
That'll be fun.
So, he's taking on Dirty Daddy. But the biggest deal...
The main event.
I got my fucking Minoru Suzuki shirt in the mail today.
Well, which one?
Minoru Suzuki. I got that one. It's pretty fucking dope. It's like a side view of his face. I posted a couple pictures of it. I'll send you after the shoe. But it's fucking sick, dude. Anyway, he's taking on the namesake of one Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Believe it or not, Josh Barnett. Man.
That was the one I was hoping for. Like when this whole thing was announced, I was like, I really hope we get Josh Barnett as Minoru Suzuki, because it's like more so than the shoot style dream match than it is just from those names. It's like each of those dudes represent a different style of shoot style wrestling. So you have Josh Barnett, who's like a Billy Robinson student, who's like just that amazing catch wrestling, like no one could do catch wrestling like Billy Robinson, and Josh Barnett was one of his greatest students. So it's like the long great history of catch wrestling and Billy Robinson style shoot wrestling versus Minoru Suzuki, who comes from the Pancakes background with like the Yoshiaki Fujiwara training and the I guess the Carl Gotch base to it. So it's like almost like Gotch versus Robinson in the new age. So I'm so excited. Even if this
It'd be
match only
fucking
goes like 8 minutes, like I'll be so happy.
I actually in that show I prefer. I mean, they should be quicker matches. Like most shoot fights aren't going an hour. You know what I mean? Like fucking A. But yeah, dude, that's incredible. Especially with someone coming in to fill in for Matt Riddle or take over the whole Bloodsport moniker. Josh Barnett couldn't be a better dude. You know what I mean?
I remember saying on this show I was really worried when Matt Riddle went to the up north territory because I was thinking it might be the end of Bloodsport unless we can get Jean-Claude Van Damme to come run it. But to me, Josh Barnett
Steve
is the
Blackman's
next best thing.
Steve Blackman.
I was quietly hoping that Steve
Bloodsport.
Blackman would be on this show. Steve Blackman or Shamrock, right?
Yeah, or against each other. Fucking A, brother.
Maybe next
Do
year's
that.
Bloodsport. Ken Shamrock's Bloodsport.
No, actually, Joey Janela Spring Break 4 Bloodsport match. Ken Shamrock versus fucking Steve Blackman.
Is it going to happen in the Lion's Den again?
Yeah. Oh my god. Joey would do that.
Yep. Nostalgia.
All right. Well, next show, actually, I'm going to that evening is at MLW Rise of the Renegades at Melrose Ballroom.
I will be there too, and I'll maybe. I hope I don't miss the start of the show because it's going to be a bit of a cutting it fine to get from New Jersey to Queens from a show starting at 4 p.m. to I think they said bell time for the MLW show is 7:30. So
Yep.
I'm hoping last year Bloodsport wasn't that long a show, so if it's more around that, 2.5 hours, I'll be okay. If
Could be safe.
Yeah, well, it's still going to be tight, but fingers crossed.
So on this show, we got what's listed on the card is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if this is real because I'm not familiar, but we have a singles match of MJF and Brian Pillman Jr., but then it also shows a tables match of the Full Heart Foundation and then MJF's faction Dynasty with Hammerstone and Richard Holiday. So I'm not sure if both those matches are going on, but so we have the tables match they show on here, and then we got the big guy Ace Romero versus Joseph Samael.
Oh, that's going to be a big boy match.
Yeah, two Haas guys. And then, honestly, one of the matches I'm really interested to see because it's going to get fucking bloody and disgusting probably is Mance Warner and Sami Callihan.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen much of Mance, dude?
Only a little bit in some of the MLW highlight videos because I'm chugging my way through MLW, but a weekly show can be a little bit hard to keep up with at times. I'm currently up to about October of last year, so I'm a little bit delayed with the latest storylines. So yeah, I haven't seen him quite yet, but he seems awesome. And I heard Jim Cornette really put him over hard. Has been like a real throwback to like a dirty white boy style kind of dude.
Yeah, you talk like this, daddy. That was a better impression than I expected to come out of my mouth. Good job, Jeremy.
Well done.
Anyway, that's exactly how he sounds. And he fucking talks about WCW constantly on Twitter. He loves old school wrestling, and he's always constantly putting that shit over. So I became a big fan. And he's a fucking maniac. Guy had his tongue stapled to a board during a match.
Whoa.
Ugh. Yeah. But so that should be a really bloody affair. I'm excited for that one. And then we have the one that is going to be cool and probably pretty interesting is the title match between Tom Lawler and Jimmy Havoc. But the real reason
I remember I actually didn't watch this too long ago, but there was a Jimmy Havoc Tom Lawler match on MLW TV a few weeks back to where I'm at the moment, where they had a pizza cutter in the match, and so Jimmy, it's funny in this match. It was like Jimmy took all of the deathmatch shit, and Tom Lawler didn't take shit. He just did wrestling. I can imagine him in the back. Tom, yeah, I'm not doing any of that stuff. So that's okay. I'll take all the bumps. All right, sweet deal. But so they had a spot with a pizza cutter, and Jimmy went to do it on Tom, and then Tom grabbed it off him, and then Tom did the slice on Jimmy's arm. And fuck me, this really cut that deep and just gushing blood straight away, and they had to go straight to the finish because it was so serious. motherfucker's going to bleed to death from a pizza cutter. Man. Yeah, so that's the freshest thing in my mind when I hear about that match. But that should be fun. Good clash of styles there. I was personally hoping that we'd get the rematch of Loki and Filthy Tom for the title, but this should be fun anyway.
But the coup de grace, so to speak,
well, before
of the
that,
show,
the match that I'm most excited about, another technical just like display of technical mastery.
Yes,
Daga and Minoru Tanaka.
Yeah.
And I've been such a fan of Minoru Tanaka, like going back to his days in New Japan as like Heat, and then like when he went to All Japan, and then when he sort of became more of like an indie mainstay in all of the indies and 0-1 and stuff, and then even now he's like killing it in Noah. Like I watched a show live last night on YouTube, and he at like age 47 or something like that. He's one of these dudes that looks like he's 32 and somehow he's 47. Crazy good shape. So great. And against Daga, who was like, people think of, Lucha Libre, Mexican wrestling in a certain way, but Daga shows like a complete different side of it with just that real awesome technical wrestling submissions, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really pumped for this one.
Yeah, I fucking skipped over. I was so excited about LA Park and Pentagon.
As you should be. It's funny, that match...
That's going to be nuts.
Well, that match was originally meant to be Rush and LA Park, right?
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, because that was the big feud. We've spoken about it before. They were building up the mask versus hair thing, having these insane brawls in Arena Mexico and everything else. And then Court Bauer got this real coup de grace of being able to sign that match for this show on WrestleMania weekend. And then, lo and behold, ROH signs Rush out right from under him. So then he has to scramble and come up with a different match, which I was actually even more excited about. Pentagon Jr. Against LA Park. Again, these dudes had a fantastic match on the same tapings where they did their first War Games MLW last year. And just like this crazy-ass brawl. So if that's anything to judge this by, I think it's going to be awesome. Because, Pentagon Jr., awesome, crazy, hardcore guy, and no one does that better than LA Park. So, I'm pumped.
It looks like it's going to be a really bloody show, man.
Yeah, looking at it now.
And actually running at the same time of that show is the fucking WrestleCon Super Show.
Oh, I'm jealous of some of those matches that have been announced, man.
We got Will and fucking Bandito, Will Ospreay. Sorry, I don't know him personally. Just to be clear. And then
young William Ospreay.
Young William Ospreay.
On those
versus
early
Bandito
PWG shows, like the Bowlers when Will got first brought over, at the time, I don't know if this was just Excalibur like fucking with him, but for his first couple shows, they called him William Ospreay.
William Ospreay!
I popped for it so much when I was rewatching that shit. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No worries. Then we got Dragon Lee versus Barbaro Cavanero.
Barbaro Cavanario.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm brutalizing the translation. But yeah, he's fucking crazy. Dude, I think it was a clip with him. No, that was fucking Taurus. Do you see that Taurus clip where somebody jumps over and does a plancha over the top rope? He catches him by the legs and drops him with a power bomb on the cement. Did you see that motherfucking thing?
I think that was on the AAA show that we were talking about. That one that I watched live. It was a crazy match. Yeah, Taurus is awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. And then the Zack Sabre Jr. Open Challenge. Now this is pretty interesting.
How is that going to go? Are we going to get
it's actually going to be somebody cool, or is it going to be a big goof?
I think WrestleCon has something big to live up to here. They just the other day had announced a slew of cancellations for both this WrestleCon show and the WrestleCon USA versus the World show due to visa issues. So a lot of all of their big name talent that was coming over from Japan no longer doing so. So the Dragon Gate guys who were previously going to be a big part of it, Red, we're going to be teaming with Park in one of the matches on this WrestleCon show, and no more. So yeah, them and Park off the show. So then they're sort of like rejigging rejiggered some things around. So, yeah.
That stinks.
Oh well, things happen.
Yeah.
Piece of shit presidents and such.
It's a great concept. Like, I guess Zach is challenging literally anyone he hasn't already faced as a gimmick.
I mean, in the back of my mind, like if you're thinking of like all-time dream match kind of things, how great would it be if like Minoru Suzuki comes out? It's like a Suzuki Gun versus Suzuki Gun affair.
Have they technically never faced off?
They faced off in the World Tag League last year. They were opposite sides of because there were two different Suzuki Gun teams. So it was like Minoru Suzuki and
but not in a one-on-one thing.
No, it was a tag. But like the actual exchange between Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre was a really extended. Takashi Iizuka was teaming with Minoru Suzuki against Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. And yeah, there was like this awesome just like display of mat wrestling amazingness for like the first like 7 minutes just between Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki, and everyone just went insane, standing ovation type of shit. So it's like, can you imagine a whole match of that? Logical progression, I don't know. Otherwise, who else could it be?
Well, yeah, I'm just making sure that they never face each other because I think that is the gimmick. It has to be someone he's never like did the one-on-one thing. So that'd be perfect. I like it.
Yeah, all right. Armchair booking down.
Yeah.
And they normally have a lot of big surprises for the Wrestlecon show, so you'll probably get some pretty awesome shit. We won't, because we'll be at MLW, but I'll be quite jealous of how great that show ends up. But I felt like I needed to go to MLW, from being a fan back in the day, like watching in 2000, 2003, 2004, to then like being a big fan of the radio show and everything, and then the rebirth of it and all that. So I think it'd be pretty sweet to actually be at an MLW show in person. Have you ever been to an MLW show yourself?
I have not. I as well would like to go for my own like past ties with the company as well. So yeah, it'd be really fucking fun to go.
Nice.
And next day, Friday, the first event that I believe both you and I are going to is U.S. versus the World. The aforementioned.
I'll be going to a show earlier than that on that day.
Wait, what? What are you going to? Bring it on. It's not listed here.
The AIW show. The AIW show is part of the collective, the GCW collective shows at the White Eagle back in New Jersey. So like a fucking idiot, I'll be going from New Jersey at Bloodsport to Queens at MLW, back to New Jersey for a show that originally was meant to start at midnight. So I was like, all right, sweet, I've got like an hour. Court said the show's going to finish around about 11. An hour to get back. That should be all right. And then AIW announced that the show's actually going to be starting an hour earlier. So it starts at 11. So I'm already like behind the gun, and I messaged the promoter. I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to have to get a refund here. And he basically, and again, I don't know how much we should trust indie promoters here, but I'm taking him at his word. He said, if I'm not there for the first hour, I'm not going to miss anything crazy. So
what? Why would he say that?
I don't know. So apparently no big stars in the first hour of that show.
Hey everybody, you can skip the first hour. It's a snooze.
Apparently it's going to be a pretty long show too. They have a lot of matches announced for that motherfucker.
Hell yeah, we got fucking Mance Warner and Nick Gage.
How crazy is that going to be?
Oh, this is a brutal looking show, though, dude. And by brutal, I mean gnarly. Lots of fucking badass motherfuckers.
Isn't that the show? Scott Steiner against Hornswoggle.
Fuck, I might have to send Alicia home and go with you. It looks like tickets might still be available.
Yeah, please do. I think they put out a post the other day and was like getting people to feel sorry for them after all of the GCW sellouts. They did like a tweet where it was like, if people could help us get one of those sellouts like GCW, that'd be really good. Thanks.
That'd be neato for thanks for serious. Yeah, you might be able to drag me to that. Alicia's, when I told her what I all had planned, she's like, I don't know if I want to go to any more after that. And then all of a sudden I confirmed, babe, we're going to MSG. All right.
Oh, that show's going to be crazy. But the biggest match that I originally bought a ticket for was Otani versus Eddie Kingston. Like fucking Japanese wrestling legend Shinjiro Otani. On one of my last trips to Japan, of all of the crazy wrestling in G1 and all of the ridiculous shit that I saw, the single guy that impressed me more than any other wrestler was Shinjiro Otani on the 01 show that I went to. So I think a lot of people are going to be amazed by this guy. And this dude who was like, wasn't he like the first ever cruiserweight champion or in WCW?
Who?
Otani.
The first cruiserweight champion?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Or it
No,
was
it
some
was
crazy
fucking,
bullshit where it was
Brian
like
Pillman.
the WCW... No, Pillman was when it was the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, fucking A.
Yeah, so
We're-
that
we're
should be
old, man.
insane. I'm really excited. And also, La Familia de Tijuana with Damien Ceces and Bestia Ceces. I am so excited. Last year when they had the LWO reunion, Damien Ceces was definitely one of the most fun parts of that. Like, dude can still go. I have no idea how old he is. He may be in his late 50s, but he's still a maniac. And they're against the young studs, so I can't wait.
By the way, some of these shows' names are so awesome. Murder Mania Night 2. I think that's Casanova Valentine's show. Murder Mania.
Oh, I didn't know. What's Casanova Valentine doing? For people that don't know, he does a lot of awesome no-ring deathmatch stuff. He pretty much started that craze from his shit that he does in Brooklyn. Also a talented artist. What's he got going on?
Yeah, he's an amazing artist. He's actually facing Effie in a death match.
Where's this taking place and when? Is it like some weird club like at 2 a.m. or something?
10:30. This is also same night as the MLW show.
No, that's not going to work. Boo.
No.
Boo.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, fucking A. Murder Mania with Effie and Casanova Valentine. Like, fucking only can happen during WrestleMania weekend, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think we're going to need to sprint through a little bit here.
No, I'm done. No more shows to be talked about. We're done.
What? That's it?
Show's over. Cutting it short.
Oh, no.
Which one do you want to touch base on, buddy?
WrestleCon USA versus the World. I was quite excited about that show.
But isn't that all fucked up now?
Well, it did, but they announced the reshuffled matches.
All right, I'm not sure if this is the most recently updated. So we got Brian Cage and Masato Tanaka. Is that
I think
still going
that's
down?
still in place, yeah, and I'm so
Hell
stoked
yeah.
for that.
That'll be fucking brutal.
Heck yeah.
I can't see any visas getting in the way of this one. MJF and Ethan Page. That should be both funny and a good match.
Woo.
Sammy Guevara and Puma King. Again, that should be an awesome and really funny match. Okay, here's your boys. We got Australian Suicide, Adam Brooks, and Robbie Eagles versus the Rascals. What do you think about that match, buddy?
Ooh, now that is one of the ones that's going to be changed.
I like yourself, right? Ooh, not happening.
Yeah, so...
Well, who's not making it?
All right, so that match has been revised as... So what did you say? Repeat, please.
We have the Rascals versus an Australian collective of Australian Suicide, Adam Brooks, and Robbie.
Oh, yeah, that is the rescheduled match.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So that should be
All right.
amazing, because originally, there was both, they were mixed up with some stuff with the Red Faction match, but now they've been put into this Super Six-Man tag, which I'm really stoked for. We're also getting LAX against the Hart Foundation, Teddy Hart and Harry Smith.
That's the remix? Yeah, because it said on the show, what I have is Adam Brooks and Robbie Eagles versus the fucking Hart Foundation.
Yeah, there you go. So that was the original one. This is what it's been changed to. So I think that I'm so stoked for that. LAX have been great lately, and you know how much I love Teddy Hart and Mad.
Please tell me this is still going down, buddy. David Starr and Dogga, because if that match is still going down, that could possibly be a weekend stealer.
Heck yeah, dude,
Oh,
that'll
God,
be
that could be
great.
good.
Oh man, how much love? Do you see that promo David Starr cut the other week?
I honestly, I felt maybe a little bit strong, but I think that could go down as one of the best promos of all time.
I had mixed feelings of it as well, because I am a big fan of David Starr and obviously his promo ability. I was a big fan of him presenting, like, him actually being proud of his Jewish faith is like something that I think is really cool, and like putting that over hard in pro wrestling has really never been done. Like, I mean, the closest thing to like a really good positive Jewish role model that we've had in wrestling
Goldberg?
was like, yeah, Goldberg. And even like in WCW, they didn't play that up all that big.
No.
Awesome segment that you can check out on the Man Show, though, of Bill Goldberg sharing his Jewish faith with Adam Carolla.
Good reference.
yeah, so great. Anyway, I thought it was maybe a bit hard with the burying Sinclair for being like a real backwards like Republican type of thing. I mean, I've heard that the ownership has those kind of viewpoints, but it's not like you'd ever see anything like that in the show itself. Unlike, many times when WWE's hammered home that sort of Republican rhetoric, so I don't think that's really that fair. But
Sure.
I don't know. It's a good way to get like a different kind of interest into the match, I guess, from people that otherwise wouldn't have been. But I thought the intensity of the promo itself was really, really good. And
so good.
yeah, so I think, it's just great that like Israel is actually getting international wrestling for like so long with like this bullshit of companies not going there, because of political agendas and stuff. So I think the whole thing of them getting a show with big international names like this is great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but yeah, I think David Starr and Daga is going to be great. Wrestling! Yay, wrestling! All right, next up.
We got Rev Pro, which is going to be awesome. We can break it down, but there's going to be fucking...
Nothing much has been announced for that, hey? We've only got like, wasn't there like one match that's been announced?
I show quite a bit listed here. Let me go through it if you're not familiar.
At least quickly.
We got Hiroshi Tanahashi and young William Ospreay, versus Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, yes, I remember hearing about that. That'll be great.
We got our pals, Aussie Open, facing Roppongi 3K.
Ooh, that's a new one. I didn't know about that. Ooh.
Oh, dude, I didn't know about this one, but I just kind of got a wrestle boner. Hopefully this match is still going down. David Starr versus Tomohiro Ishii, dude.
Whoa! That'll be great. What a sweet contrast of like both awesome wrestlers. One more of a wrestler, one more of a fucking kill you wrestler. Like, yes. I'm looking forward to this.
We got Rocky Romero versus I'm gonna try it. Ryusuke Taguchi.
Ryusuke Taguchi. You got it pretty close, my friend.
Ryusuke. I gotta
Ryusuke.
remember like fucking Shinsuke. That's you. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite tag teams, CCK, and the version I really like, Jonathan Gresham and Chris Brooks versus Alex Coughlin and Carl Fredericks. And Katsubori Shibata is the special guest. So we're going to see Shibata.
Also, they're Shibata's students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm one of the fucking Shibata students from up here is Clark Connors. He was actually on that Young Lion show, so awesome to see him doing great work.
Yeah.
What's next?
They looked good in one of the ROH tours that they did down in Texas that I watched a little while back. So, yeah. Shocking that New Japan Young Lions, good wrestlers. Would you believe it?
Blown away.
Yeah.
So, should we jump through it quick? We got Joey Janela. We're going to Pancakes and Piledrivers, which is crazy.
Yeah. So what do we got on Pancakes and Piledrivers so far?
Pancakes. It looks like the majority of it is announced. Adam Brooks and Matt Cross.
Singles match.
Yeah.
Ooh,
this one's
great.
Crazy one. You'll pop in the last guy I mentioned. Fallah Ball, Ace Romero, Madman Fulton, Larry D, and Fatu versus Dan versus all five of those guys. But Dan Moff is also in this match, dude.
Oh, I am a big fan of Dan Moff.
Yes.
That's so great.
Yeah, so good.
Mad love.
Then AR Fox versus JT Dunn versus Ace Austin versus Sammy Rivera. I'm actually really excited about that. That should be a high-flying affair.
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is fucking nuts, dude. Ricky Shane Page and Tessa Blanchard? What?
Ooh.
What? So are we gonna get some color from one Tessa Blanchard, do you think?
I think it's just gonna be Tessa Blanchard kicking the
the
fucking shit out of Ricky Shane Page.
That should be fun.
Just like
Alicia
Scott
liked
Steiner style, just like completely fucking up his life. That's all I want out of this match.
And then we got a tag team gauntlet match. Rascals, Lucha Bros, LAX, Aussie Open, Besties in the World, and Team Tremendous. Oh, Dan and fucking Bill are reunited for WrestleMania.
Ah! Awesome.
And OVE, I imagine they're going to be headlining versus the Unwanted, which is Shane, Eddie Kingston, and Joe Gacy. So since we might not catch them at the Evolve, at least we can see them on this show.
Indeed. And my biggest question, following last year's Pancakes and Piledrivers, where David Arquette came out and beep, 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 beep,
Oh, shit!
mid-show report. David Arquette Watch
Potential.
2019.
Speculation
Woo!
this time.
Yeah, but so he came out and did the promo to end the show last time and said next year's Pancakes and Piledrivers, I'll be wrestling on this show. So that was before his big comeback or any of that stuff happened. So I would be quite disappointed if we did not get an impromptu surprise David Arquette match on that show.
Oh,
Is that an unrealistic expectation?
I
Yeah.
gotta get my Mark picture, man.
Same.
All right, and then I'm gonna be going. Are you going to Supercard? Did you get tickets for that?
Oh, yeah, I sure did. Of course I did.
Oh, good to make sure.
Actually, while we're still on the David Arquette news, I did want to mention, while we're still in the watch segment, he also has a match on another show that I'm sadly not going to be able to make it to due to these terrible clashes on the Joey Ryan's penis party. It's going to be David Arquette versus Timothy fucking Thatcher, and I'm not going to be able to be there to see it. I am outraged, sir.
It's fucking. Who puts these matches? Who booked this shit?
Yeah, so I'm torn. Like, this show, really, this show's loves, our two loves are David Arquette and GCW and Joey Janela. Yeah. And we're being forced to choose between those two things. This is some bullshit.
Oh, and maybe, quite possibly, the main event of the weekend besides WrestleMania. The ROH and New Japan Super Card of Honor.
Oh, man, when the card came out for that, did you hear all of these people complaining about this in the lead up to it before it came out? Thinking, oh, it's just an ROH show. Oh, where are all these New Japan matches? What's this bullshit with Jay Lethal main event? Rah, rah, rah. They were going crazy. And then the full card came out, and this is like the most blockbuster card you could ever hope for. It's crazy. Crazy, insane. What do you think?
Well, Breeze, it's fucking incredible. Like these matchups are fucking ridiculous. Let's start out. We got Honor Rumble. We don't need to cover everybody in that, but there's a ton of people.
Yep.
Possibly one of Jushin Liger's last matches,
and some good surprises, I think, as well.
Yep. So it's gonna be fucking incredible. It's Liger, MSG, boo boo, and then next open weight championship, never open weight. My close personal friend Jeff Cobb taking on young William Ospreay. Winner takes all, ROH title or never open weight. Who do you see coming out on top with double belt, double gold? Are we seeing some schmaz where somebody's walking away?
I hope no schmaz would be going on here. I think that match, given the right amount of time, could be one of the shows that could just be like the full show stealer of the weekend, you know?
So Big Jeff winning that one?
It's tough. ROH has really protected Jeff. I don't think he's had a single loss yet. And Will Ospreay is not really a factor in ROH anymore. So it's really almost like a New Japan guy. And Ospreay's been very protected in New Japan lately too. So it's like a New Japan protected guy versus a Jeff Cobb one. So it's hard.
Is it Jeff's got to be fucking technically a New Japan guy too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think if they put the belt on Jeff and then he like gets booked a bit more solidly, like getting more tours with New Japan, that'd be a great way to introduce him.
Then we got Dalton Castle and Rush, which
that should be fun.
Should be a good fun match. Women's Championship, Mayu Iwatani versus Kelly Klein. I have real no interest. I mean, I like Iwatani. She works kind of light, so it doesn't look too brutal to me. I don't know. Not my favorite, but you know, whatever. And then we got
Kelly Klein or Iwatani. You think works?
Iwatani. Light? She's like a little tiny little thing.
She is, but I watched their match on the ROH pay-per-view recently, and if anything, it was Iwatani who was like laying some shit in, and Kelly Klein stuff that looked light.
Well, then I need to fucking take my shit back and watch it because I have a new open-minded Jeremy.
I like it.
My opinion isn't established immediately and always set in stone anymore.
No, I think that match had some promise on the Irish pay-per-view gone by. And a lot of the time, once you get a match under your belt to get a bit more familiar with the opponent, I think this one could be even better than that. So I'm cautiously optimistic for this and a big fan of Iwatani's. So let's see how we go.
Hell yeah. And then we got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with Taji Ishimori, Dragon Lee, and Bandito Jr.
Talk about show-stealing matches right here. That's going to be insane.
Not much you can say, really.
Yeah, nothing. We don't need to say anything. That's it. Next match.
Yes. We got the ROH Championship and the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, both on the line. Gorillas of Destiny, PCO, Brody King. Then we got the Briscoes. Then we got Sonata and Evil. So,
oh man, I wanted to, as an aside, like I'm very excited for this whole match. Like mainly for the Briscoes versus PCO and Brody King side of it, but the other teams are cool too. But like more than anything, how good is this as a full circle thing? Last year we saw the whole real PCO rebirth story start with his amazing match with Walter at Spring Break, and now 12 months later at the big ROH show, he's wrestling in like one of the main featured championship matches at Madison fucking Square Garden. Like, sold out Madison Square Garden. How good is that?
That actually, now that you think about it, that is and we talked about with him, like, when he was on the show, like, what is the ultimate goal? Working for the WWE? He said yes for the most part, but he also would work for anybody. And look what he's done, working for essentially one of the biggest companies in the country. So
yeah,
hell yeah.
Definitely say number 2 in the US right now.
Fuck yeah, brother. And then moving on, Jesus Christity, we got Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yep.
Can't see enough Tanahashi matches. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. is always lights out, so fucking great. Moving on, another incredible, ridiculous, fucking wow, IWGP Intercontinental Championship. We got Tetsuya Naito versus
Kota Ibushi. Fucking what? They murdered one another in the first round of the New Japan Cup, so I can only imagine what they're going to do in front of a sold-out Madison Square Garden. That match is going to be bonkers, and like we've even got a couple more matches to go, but this is where I start to get scared of like pacing this show out, and like even if they give it like 4.5 hours, you're still going to have some stuff that's going to get fucked on time. So we're going to see some of these matches like this one that could like easily, if it was like on a proper New Japan show main event, one of their big shows in front of like 6,000 people, and be given like 25, 30, 35 minutes. Whereas now, is it even going to get like 12 minutes? Like, it's crazy to think.
Yeah, you're fucking right. And also, I mean, this card is super long, so traditionally, all these a lot of title matches, you would think they want a lot of time to breathe, but they might have to cut some down. You're right.
And I've heard things about union laws in Madison Square Garden to where if you go past a certain time, it gets very, very, very expensive. So they're definitely not going to want it to go longer than they have it slotted to finish.
Now, the main event is supposed to be Jay Lethal. So the ROH title is going over the IWGP heavyweight title?
No. I think it's the other way around. They announced it's almost like a double main event thing, but the IWGP title is going on after the ladder match between.
No, fuck that.
That's some bullshit WWE speak. Yeah,
it's some bullshit, man. I don't do that. So we got ROH World Championship, Jay Lethal. The best first-generation wrestler in the world, Matt Taven and Marty Scurll.
I am pumped in a ladder match.
And I think this is going to be Taven finally getting his belt, unfortunately. I love Taven,
that'd be great. To me, I'm a big fan for a long time, and I feel like if you're going to do it, what better place to do it?
I was saying kayfabe, unfortunately. It's a bummer that Jay Lethal.
See,
but no, I love this Taven character, and him calling Jay Lethal paper champion all this time is pretty fucking awesome.
And I love that hour draw they had on that anniversary show pay-per-view. One of my favorite matches of the year. It was weird. There was some like sort of hate for it. Some people don't like 60-minute draws, but I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So my excitement for that just carries forward into this match. So again, very lofty expectations.
Back in my day, we called that one on Broadway.
60-minute Broadway, baby.
And then we got the main event of the evening, Betty. It's one Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada.
I'm a big fan of that match.
Kind of souring on Jay White lately.
I think that's bullshit. Because to me, he's just gotten better and better. Like, a lot of people thought that he got the belt too fast, I guess. When they put the IWGP title on him and he won it on Tanahashi's first title defense after Wrestle Kingdom. But, you know, they needed to make new guys and they need Jay White to be the top foreigner. So it's like the same as when, you know, AJ was brought in and they put the belt on him right away. And at the time, people were like, how the fuck is New Japan putting the IWGP title on AJ Styles from fucking TNA? Like, this is bullshit. And then, like, literally 6 months to a year later, people are like, oh, AJ Styles is, like, the best wrestler in the world. So I think it's going to be a similar story here. You know, same when they put the belt with the, you know, Omega and stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of Jay White, and he proves everyone wrong every time out. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yes, sir. And then what we may or may not go to. Well, you're going to Janela night too. I'm not, unfortunately. So let's not talk about that.
No, you'll do it. Just go, and some magic will happen, and you'll get in. It'll be fun.
I'll sneak in. I'm like, Joey, I'll suck your dick. I'll suck your dick, Joey.
The whole spring break night 1 and 2, there's a lot of mystery to it, right? But yeah, offer Joey some sneaky BJs. I heard he was like willing to listen. Someone was offering him a Steve Austin cookie jar, and they were like, "How about I swap this for a ticket for spring break?" And he was like, "I think I might do that." So
I got an Anakin Skywalker action figure. Maybe you go on.
Yeah, so just bring some sort of rad present, and then you're in.
Okay, cool. But the other show we're trying to go to, if we can wake our asses up, is Capital Wrestling, where not only are Aussie Open,
and this is on the Sunday. This is midday on the Sunday. Not much other stuff's on the Sunday. So the only thing preventing us from going to this is whether our bodies are ready for it.
Actually do it.
Yeah,
and we really want to, because we have showered praises upon early ROH much on this show, but the unification of a team, long storied, is happening. Special K.
Comeback story of Special fucking K. There was a great video.
Deranged, Azrael, and now fucking Slim J. Who I've also heard the praises for him from literally almost when I mentioned him, every wrestler puts this motherfucker over. So he must be still fucking lights out, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I just watched that hype video and was like, all right, no matter what, we have to see the rebirth of Special K. And then I need a Special K shirt. Oh yeah, that's almost my entire purpose of going. Get a shirt, get the photo with Special K, done. Do some drugs with Special K, then we're out of there.
And then they're taking on Colby Carino, Jordan Oliver, who I'm not familiar with, but holy shit, dude, HC Loke,
referee of ECW fame, who became one of they're one of the Carnage crew with fucking DeVito in probably the most high profile feud that Special K had in ROH. Special K versus Carnage crew is being reborn in 2019. Amazing.
Should be great. So yeah, looking forward to that. And then after that, me and Chris are gonna make our way over to Hooters, Madison Square Garden,
the original Hooters, apparently
OG.
Yeah.
For a social suplex meet up with all of our friends and all of our other podcast buddies.
Yeah, so we invite all of you listeners to come on down. You know, if you don't want to sit through 18 hours of the bullshit pre-show of WrestleMania and you just want to go there for the start time, then hit up the original Hooters across from Madison Square Garden at 5 p.m. It'll be Suplex Mania. It'll be a terrific event. There'll be a podcast panel happening where you can listen to us do our dumb thing. Enjoy the dumbness in person. We'd love to see you all. There'll be all of the other favorite shows from Social Suplex represented. There'll also be free giveaways, there will be drink specials, buckets of beer, and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if Hooters still do the dancing anymore. Is that a thing? We're going to have the podcast interrupted like every hour for like a dance sequence from the Hooters girls.
Do they dance? I never knew they danced.
They used to. I don't know. I've never actually been to a Hooters. I just know about it from pop culture references.
As far as I know, the Hooters girls just wore short shorts and tight T-shirts. I was not familiar with the dancing, so I hate to say it. I think there may be no dancing. I
was told by one friend when there was a Hooters in Sydney, I think, he went there and every either hour or half hour, whatever your conversation was like interrupted. When the music would turn on, all of the Hooters girls would start dancing. So you'd have that.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, but either way, it's going to be a fun time. So we'll see you there, listeners. It'll be a good time, and then possibly off to WrestleMania. For those of you that just want to chill out at Hooters and watch it, we'll also have it on the big screen as part of Suplex Mania for a WrestleMania watch party. So that should be great.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, what a weekend. And yeah, we didn't even talk about the spring break matches because like not much has really even been announced, right? It's going to be more of a surprise, and I just trust in Joey. I have faith in Joey that it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to, Joey Ryan's penis party is going to be going on, but I'm going to not care because we're going to be at spring break.
Yeah, and then thank goodness our good friend John Kraft decided not to ditch us. Go to this penis party. Fucking dude.
Has he actually agreed? Is that what he's doing, or is he thinking about it?
I think that's what he originally was thinking. Also, I realize now that by me calling out Marty the Moth on Twitter while John was hanging out with him and also going to tell him to actually hit me up on Twitter to do a shirt is probably...
It might have been a slight bit awkward.
For John.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
You guys are gonna have heat going into WrestleMania week.
Woo!
Marty the Moth hates me now, Jeremy. What have you done?
Yeah. Kill me. I thought it was weird. Like, can I give him your phone number? I'm like, what? Get my phone number out to wrestlers.
Oh man.
All right, let's close her up, buddy.
Yeah, let's close her up. I want to also plug something else that I'm very excited that I have going on in New York City. As part of put on by the awesome dudes at Lapel, who do awesome shit, is a quasi-bougie-ass pro wrestling art show. Yes, so this wrestling art thing that I talk up on this show is now actually going to be in a New York gallery space. I think it's more like a vintage store that they're repurposing. It's pretty cool. It's called. I want to make sure I get you guys the right details here for the venue here. It is Deep Cover. Deep Cover. You can find this from the magic that is Google. It's taking place from the 4th through the 7th, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's also going to be a special pop-up event there on the Saturday night at 6:30. We will probably be at the Madison Square Garden show, but for the people that can make it there, apparently there's going to be tasty hors d'oeuvres. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, I'm definitely so stoked that those guys hit me up, and I'm going to have some actual physical art pieces there, wrestling art. A new piece that'll actually be the first time it's ever seen by eyeballs other than my own and Courtney's. So you have that to look forward to, and yeah, it should be a fun time. So everyone get along to that and have a look at some fine cultural high art of the wrestling variety. Be a fun time.
Fuck yeah.
Woo. So let's close this up. Let's hit the plugs. So
you can follow me. You can follow Jeremey at Sorry. You can follow me at Jaims Vanderbeek. Jaims Vanderbeek. And that's both on Instagram and Twitter. So, yeah, follow me
You
there.
can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter at Chris Things on the Instagram.
That's branding, baby.
Am I Chris Things on the Twitter as well? I can never remember.
Yeah, branding, brother.
Yay!
Good job.
Woo! And you can find all the other good shit from Social Suplex at socialsuplex.com. All the other great shows as part of this wonderful podcast network. You have One Nation Radio. We have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Wilfred Watches, Omega Luke, All Elite Show, Keeping It Strong Style, as well as Grown Men Watch This Shit. And you can follow us at Grown Men Pod. Thanks, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I, when we originally talked the idea of doing this show, it was going to be inverted commas mini-sode. This mini-sode has gone a fucking hour and 45 minutes.
I knew as soon as we started talking about all the shows, it was going to happen. And also, speaking of WrestleMania weekend and everyone being over there, I am going to be drinking again. So buy me a fucking drink. It's been a while.
Heck yeah. If people that have followed Jeremy for a while know that you had a multi-month detox there to alleviate the gout. That was the main thing, right? Yep. And it was a good time by the sounds of things, and you haven't fallen off the horse. And I think the idea with this alcohol thing is that you can just do it on a special occasion like that, and then you're back off the horse, you know? It's fine. It's going to be a good time.
That's the plan. I don't plan on returning to my everyday drinking habit. I might drink again every once in a while. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to definitely indulge pretty hard. But I'm going to try to pace myself because it's been a while. I don't want to be stupid and miss any of these fucking shows.
I really hope that just the first night you just get totally white girl wasted.
Fuck you, dude.
I mean, I hope that you recover fast after it, but I'm just hoping that you've become like a total lightweight and you drink like 1.5 beers and you're just like fucking 3 sheets. What's the word?
Yeah,
three sheets to the wind.
I'm 3 sheets to the wind. All right. Well, we'll see you out there, guys. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, me.
Thank you, you. Thank you,
Get
you.
swifty.